Skinny Hardaway 30T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If it's your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it the last time. We talk these little boxing, sports, parlays, predictions, MMA every single day. Every single day, not just today. Today we here with the UFC Fight Night prediction. Full fight card. We got Almeida versus Gary Lewis. We're going to run through the full card. We're going to run through the full card. We're going to start top of the list. We're going to work our way to the bottom. Three fights in particular, right? We're going to skip over in the mix, and then we're going to come back to at the end. The reason I'm doing that is because those fights were a little harder for me to decide for whatever reason, right? So I want to talk about it. So I want to talk about those fights at the end. What's good, Daniel Berry? My girl just Jazz. I'm trying to get this monetization going right now. I'm finna get this monetization going right now, y'all. Y'all work with your boy. Y'all work with your boy. A second while I get everything taken care of. If y'all haven't checked out my daily basketball predictions, y'all check that out. If y'all haven't checked out my daily basketball predictions today, if y'all haven't peeped my college football EP, y'all make sure y'all check it out. I did it has every college football game. You know what I mean? For the week, Tuesday to Friday, right? So if y'all want to check those out, y'all check those out. We've been on fire around here with these predictions, y'all. Like we've been rolling around TWT Southern T Network, man. We've been rolling around these dumps with these picks. Now, every single right parlay hasn't been hidden, right? A lot of them have been hidden, right? Every single parlay hasn't been hidden, but a lot of these predictions are going exactly the way that we said. It's just about how you go set it up and how you go stack up the parlay. You know what I mean? But we've been having great success. We've been having great success as far as these parlays and these predictions go, right? If y'all checked out my baseball prediction yesterday, where most of the world, right, the entire world was either on the Diamondbacks, right, or the entire world was on the under in that game. I told y'all that the Rangers was going to win and that the game was going under and take the Rangers money line. And guess what? The Rangers won that game and it went over and they took the money line. And they took the money line, right? You know what I mean? But y'all do your boy a favor, y'all rolling in, y'all hit that thumb. But I know you could be anywhere right now, but you chose to be right here. I know it's other people live, right? So I know y'all gonna be sliding in and out. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Get your boy. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Get your boy right. I ain't gonna hold up too much more of y'all time because I do wanna, you know, do this in a timely. I do want to do this in a bit of a timely fashion. Shout out my girl, just Jazz. Shout out my guy, Dan Bear. Shout out my guy, Ray. But I'm gonna put the timestamps at the end of this. I'm gonna put the timestamps at the end of this anyway. You know what I mean? So just for people to have reference, I'm gonna have the timestamps up. I'm gonna have the timestamps up, right? So y'all could just go y'all can just go in. Y'all can just go in and click what you want to find, right? But I digress. So we're gonna go and get started. We're gonna start with the first fight. We're gonna go and get started. We're gonna start off with the first fight on the card. You gotta let your boy get right. We're gonna start with the first fight of the night on the card. We're gonna start with the prelim. Y'all can follow along. I'm gonna make sure that y'all stay that we all stay on the same page in the same order. Take. MMA, what's good? Take. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, baby. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. I'm about to run down these fights real quick. My winners and my losers. Real quick. I'm gonna try to have this thing up under 30 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. I done wasted 5 minutes just talking, you know what I mean? So I'm finna try to run through these things as quickly as possible. So we're gonna start with the opening fight. Right, the opening fight. We got Caillou Fernandez versus Mark DeCasey. Mark DeCasey is minus 148 right now. Fernandez is plus 114. And we got to fight. I'm not sleeping. We got we got to fight right where both these guys are traditionally strikers, right? They like to stand up. But Mark DeCasey, we've seen him lately. He's been, doing his first share of wrestling. We've seen him take, fighters down and completely ground them out. Fernandez is a stand-up guy. The ground game, the grappling edge in this fight goes to Mark DeCasey. This fight, if this fight clinches up or this fight goes to the ground, I highly favor Mark DeCasey. I think he's a better athlete, right, than Fernandez. So I think that's going to help him. If this fight happens to go to the ground. Stand up. These guys are about what and what, but I think they're so far apart on the ground that DeCasey is so much better on the ground that I'm going to favor DeCasey in this fight, right? Because I'm confident with him on the feet, and I'm confident with him in the clinch and on the ground. He's a little bigger, a little more athletic than Fernandez, and I think that's go play a part in help seeing him through. I think that's gonna play a part in help seeing him through. Shout out my guy Darius Giller. What's good, Darius? Appreciate y'all sliding through. Y'all do your boy solid. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. We go keep it moving right along. So in the first fight, we got Caillou Fernandez versus Mark DeCasey. We got Mark DeCasey for the win in that first fight, and we got DeCasey money line. You know what I mean? So we gonna take DeCasey right in the money line on that first fight, and we gonna keep it moving. We got Eduardo Mora versus Kanojo Ruiz. Eduardo Mora in this fight should win this fight pretty easy, right? And the prop's not up for this fight just yet, right? So I digress, right? And Eduardo Mora should win this fight fairly easy, right? All around, just a better fighter. I kind of think they putting her in the ring with Ruiz to get a win, right? To make her look good. So I'm expecting her to come out here and do what the boss want her to do, right? Eduardo Mara should win this fight pretty easy in that second fight. So we got Mara over Ruiz in the second fight, and we go take Mara right now for the money line, right? We go take Mara right now for the money line. Shout out to my girl Tay Tay MMA. Go put it in there because she look better than the rest of y'all. Okay, y'all hit that thumbs up for the boy. Moving right along, right? Angela Hill and Denise Gomez. That's one of those fights that we gonna come back to, right? So we gonna move on past that fight real quick. We got Victor Petrino versus Modestas Bukakas. Right now, I think this fight is actually going to be a good fight. Low key, I think this fight is a little more entertaining than people want to give it credit for. Right, Bukakas is a pretty good fighter. You know what I mean? Pretty good fighter, coming down the weight. Right, so that probably is going to play a big part in this fight. He's going up against Victor Petrino. Victor Petrino is also one of those guys that the UFC kind of want to push, right? That the UFC want to do well. But this right here is not a play fight, right? This is a step up fight. This is a tough fight for Victor Petrino versus Bukakas. A fight that he very well could lose. But I'm going to back Victor Petrino in this fight to beat Bukakas, even though Bukakas is a good fighter. Victor Petrino's size, I think, is going to play the biggest part in that fight. Him moving up the weight. I'm just thinking he's going to be just a little too small. I don't think he's going to have much to do, with his skill, right? But mostly to do with his size in this fight. I think he'll be just a little too small for Petrino. Petrino is going to be able to control him and take this fight where he wants it to go. So I got Victor Petrino over Bukakas. And if you just joining in, we went past that Gomez fight on purpose. We go wait to the end, and we go come back to that thing. But we got Petrino money line in that fight, right? We go keep it moving. We got, and I always mess up Right Knot's name, right? I always mess up Right Knot's name, but we got Santos, right? And we got Right Knot Ferrandino, right? We got Right Knot Ferrandino. Right Knot Ferrandino, I think is one of the bright future stars of the UFC. I like his fighting style. I like him in this fight, right? I think they kind of set him up in this fight for him to get a win, right? I think I think if he loses this fight, then something is terribly wrong, right? And the UFC may have to rethink, their push campaign. But I'm a firm believer in right now Ferradino, and I think right now Ferradino gets the job done. I think he gets the job done fairly smoothly, and fairly easy in his fight, right? So we got Frank Frank I'll be butchering his name, right? We got Fernandino money line, right? As we go through here, making these picks, right? And then the next fight we got Victor Hugo versus Daniel Marcos. That's one of those fights that I told y'all we go scroll on back up to after it's over. 3 fights in particular that it took me a little time. You know what I mean? It took me a little time to get together, and I want to make sure I explain why I picked them the right way. So we go skip past this Victor Hugo and Marcos fight. So we go roll on to the main card. We go roll on to the main card. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights on the prelim, right? We got 4 out of the 6 so far. We gonna keep it moving to the Ismail Bofin and Venture Pichel fight. I'm expecting Ismail Bofin to win this fight, and I'm expecting Ismail Bofin to win this fight in highlight fashion. Both Bofins, right? Israel Gabriel, both these guys are, I think some of the more exciting fighters in the UFC. Gabriel Bofin, I think is maybe a future champion. Ismail Bofin is most definitely an extremely exciting fighter. I do think he has future champion in him. You know what I mean? As well. I'm expecting Ismail to win this fight. You know what I mean? Fairly easy. I actually think he gonna knock him out. They hadn't put the odds up right for yet though, but I think Ismail Bofin wins this fight by KO. So right now we gonna take Bofin on the money line. I think Bofin wins that. I think he dominates that fight. Actually, I think he dominates that fight. I really don't think that that fight gets out of the first round. You know what I mean? So we gonna take Bofin in that fight. Money line. We got Petrosian versus Vieira, a fight where this fight could go either way, right? I think the odds on this fight right now were even, right, at -112. Now it's -120 for Petrosian for Peterson, and it's -106 for Vieira. I think Peterson in this fight wins this fight in a tight, tight fight, right? I think this fight is as close as the odds will want you to believe at -120 and -106 for Peterson. I think Peterson wins this fight in the close fight. Uh, I think I think this fight is going to go. It's going to be a mixed bag in this fight. It's going to be some striking mixed with some wrestling, and I think Peterson will be able to eke out, you know what I mean, a decision over Vieira. So we got Peterson in that fight, right? We got Magomedov versus Caio Barro, and Caio Barro is the favorite in this fight, right? But y'all, in this fight, I'm actually going to go AB's Magomedov with the underdog because I feel like Magomedov was actually beating up Sean Strickland right before he gassed out and lost that fight to Sean Strickland. As long as Magomedov gas tank don't let him down, I think he's able to beat Kaya Baraho, right? And it's going to be a close fight. Kaya Baraho is favored in that fight by -280. You got Magomedov at +210. I think their spread is just too wide for Magomedov, right? So that's why I'm inclined to take Magomedov in this fight, right? Because their spread, I don't think that Baraho is, almost a 3-1 better than Magomedov, especially when I know I've seen Magomedov, pretty much beat the current champion, right, for about 2 rounds, about 1.5 rounds in gas out. So him going up against Caio Barho, I don't think that Barho is 3-1 better than him. And I think that's a good dog. And I'm going to take that dog. Man, I'm going to take that dog. I'm going to take that Magomedov dog over Barho, and I'm going to take it comfortably, y'all. So let me drop a picture, Petrosin in here. We got Petrosin money line, right? We got Petrosin money line, and we got Magomedov, and I'm gonna drop these all in the chat at the end. I'm gonna drop these all in the chat at the end. Magomedo money line, right? So we got Magomedo money line. In this next fight, Dante Mays versus Nesamito. That's another one of those fights that we gonna talk about at the end because that fight is hard for me to pick two, right? But for a different reason from the other two, and I'm gonna explain the reason why I waited, to do those three fights. The other two fights and this fight right here, for the exact opposite reasons, right? For the exact opposite reasons is why I held this fight back with those other two. But we gonna talk about it in just a second, right? But we gonna come back to the Nesamito. We gonna come back to that Nesamito and that Dante Mays fight as well. Moving right along, we got Gabriel Bofin versus Nicholas Dalby. Dalby. In this fight, I got Gabriel Bofin. I think Gabriel Bofin is another one of those stars that the UFC wants to see do well. Another one of those stars that the UFC wants to push, right? Nicholas Dalby is a tough opponent. I do think it's going to be a pretty interesting fight, right? But I'm favoring Bofin to win this fight. And I don't want to say that Bofin wins easily, right? But I think that he wins comfortably, right? Bofin over Dalby. Dalby is game, right? This is a spot where if Bofin isn't, on this game, he could possibly come out here and lay an egg. But I'm confident in Gabriel Bofin that he's able to get the job done, right? He's not one of those guys that's going to take anybody lightly, right? So I'm not expecting him to take this guy lightly. I'm expecting him to come in here. I'm expecting him to come here on his A game and put on a dominant performance over Nicholas Dalby, an impressive dominant performance over Nicholas Dalby because it's not easy to dominate Nicholas Dalby, right? So we got both things on that card. This one we got G Bofin over Dalby. We got G Bonfim, right? Over Dalby, right? We got G Bonfim money line. So I digress. Now we got Jelton Almeida versus Derrick Lewis in the main event, right? This is what we came for. Big Derrick Lewis is back. That new UFC contract. Love to see Derrick Lewis fight. You know what I mean? Hear me highlight reel. Probably the hardest puncher in the UFC, right? If not, he's pound for pound one of the hardest punchers, right? Uh, one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC, right? One of the most notable guys, Black Beast, and Jelton Almeida. Now, if you're not too familiar with Jelton Almeida, this fight right here is most definitely the fight that you want to check out because he's in there with a game opponent, right? Jelton Almeida is an all-around Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mixed martial artist, right? He possesses beautiful striking. He also possesses, beautiful submissions. He possesses great grappling. He's a true definition of a mixed martial artist. What's good, Josh? Shout out my guy, Josh Sanders. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Y'all get your boy right. Y'all get your boy right, man. We running down this UFC fight card, trying to do this thing within a timely manner. I should have been did it, running a little late, but it's all good. Y'all help the boy get straight. Trying to get this thing within 25 to 30, right? We're on the main event time right now. Then we're gonna go back and we're gonna round off the card, and then we're gonna run down our picks like that. And then I'm gonna let y'all slide on up out here because I gotta come back and hit y'all with the baseball prediction, right? But I digress. Main event time, we got Jelton Almeida versus Derrick Lewis. And again, we got two of the bigger, right? No pun intended, two of the bigger stars, right? In Derrick Lewis, an up-and-coming star in Jelton Almeida. I think this fight right here is maybe set out to get Jelton Almeida on the map, right? As far as the performance-wise, right? Because Big Beast is coming in there for one thing. He coming in there for one thing. He coming in there to knock you out, right? And for the most part, if Big Beast doesn't knock you out, he gets finished. Whether he gets knocked out or whether he gets put in a submission, Big Baby, I said Big Baby, Black Beast, he's going in there to finish the fight. Jelton Almeida is a big dude with power. He's a big dude with a ground game. He's a big dude with submissions in his bag. And I ain't gonna lie, I love Derrick Lewis, fan favorite, one of the most fan friendly fighters that you're going to find in the UFC. Right, a lot of people watch the UFC just for Derrick Black Beast. I think marketing wise, Black Beast is great for MMA and UFC, but he has an uphill battle in this fight against Jelton Almeida. Jelton Almeida is everything as advertised. He's a monster. He's bigger than Derrick Lewis, right? He's faster than Derrick Lewis, right? He's a better grappler than Derrick Lewis. He's been doing mixed martial arts longer than Derrick Lewis, right? I love Derrick Lewis, but all signs in this fight is just not pointing to Derrick Lewis. Almeida could get himself in trouble, right, if he comes out and he tries to strictly and only strike with Derrick Lewis, but he does possess some great striking himself, right? But he opens the door up for Derrick Lewis more if he comes out here and he decides to stand and strike with Derrick Lewis. That would be favorite Derrick Lewis. If he mixes up the striking to engage the grappling to get him on the ground, then I think he wins this fight fairly easy. If this fight goes to the ground, it's going to be over, and it's going to be over quick. If it stays standing, then it gets a little more interesting for Derrick Lewis. But y'all, I don't think that the Black Beast is going to be able to pull this one out. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope Derrick Lewis lands that knockout shot out of nowhere. He sets the stage in the world on fire, and then we right back on that Black Beast train, right? But in this fight, he has an uphill battle against Jelton Almeida, and I think Jelton Almeida is going to get this victory, right? Maybe by a submission, right? Maybe by submission, because I don't see him being too, I don't see him choosing to engage with the big beast, right? Especially when he when he knows that he has such an advantage on the ground. I don't think he's going to open the door for the Black Beast, right, to even land his knockout. So I think Almeida's probably going to get this fight close, get it in the clinch, take the Black Beast down, and he could ground the pound him or he could submit him, right? But maybe submission, maybe ground the pound. I'm gonna go submission, right? I got Jelton Almeida in this fight over the Big Beast. I'm not happy about it, right? I hope I'm wrong about it, and Derek the Black Beast knocks him out. I'm going to put Jelton Almeida in my full fight card parlay, right? And I'm gonna take a flyer on the Black Beast by knockout, right? But I got Jelton Almeida in this fight. He should win this fight pretty even. Like he should win this fight. It's up to him how he wins this fight, right? Now the only thing in this fight that could go wrong, right, if Almeida starts to feel himself and he think, okay, well, I'm gonna just give Black Beats his best chance, and we're gonna go out there and we go trade punches and only punches, right? Then it could get ugly for him. But outside of that, I think Jelton Almeida should be able to get this win over Derek the Black Beast, and I'm not happy about it, right? I'm not happy about it. But those three fights that I was talking about, y'all see those three fights up there? We about to go over those three fights now. Right now, we got 9 fights picked. It's total 12 fights. It's 12 fights total. I waited on those three fights, right? Because I feel like those three fights were the toughest for me to call for their own reasons, right? We gonna start with Dante Mays and Nascimento, right? I'm gonna put the time last 3 fights in there so I could know for reference. All right, so we gonna start the last 3 fights now at 25.50, right? So 25.50, we did last 3 fights. Last 3 fights at 25.50, right? Last 3 fights at 25.50, right? So we're gonna start off with Nascimento and Dante Mays, right? So the reason this fight was so hard for me to pick, right, because I don't believe in neither of these guys, y'all. I set this fight out to tell y'all, like, don't bet on Dante Mays. Don't bet on Dante Mays and Ringo Nascimento, right? Don't bet on it. I'm not betting on that fight, y'all. And I've been on every fight. I'm not betting on that fight because both those dudes are two highly disappointing fighters. I swear Dante Mays is the only dude who I know that fight, and from the first 30 seconds of the fight, he looked like that he already tired. Dante Mays looks like he's tired before he even gets in the ring. Nascimento ain't too far from him. Nascimento is the only dude who I know who get in the ring, and it looks like he absolutely did zero training at all for any fight ever in his life. This fight is going to come down to who gasses out the slowest. I know what I said. Listen to what I said again. This fight gonna come down to who gasses out the slowest. Y'all stay away from Nascimento. Stay away from Nascimento and Dante Mays betting line this Friday. Don't do it to yourself. If I gotta pick a win in that fight, man, I'm gonna take Don'Tale Mayes only because I think he is the better all-around fighter. But that boy get tired so fast, you can't take him. You can't take him and bet on him with confidence because you just never know what's up with the conditioning. I never seen the guy Don'Tale Mayes, right? Don'Tale Mayes actually is a pretty good all-around fighter, pretty good explosive athlete. But I never seen the guy not be able to put anything together quite like Don'Tale Mayes. It's crazy. But I'm not overly confident in either of those guys. If you're making me pick, I'm picking Mayes. I'm telling y'all, don't bet on that fight, right? But if you're asking me, Mayes should win the fight, right? He should. He should. Right? So we got Mayes, right? Don't bet on it. We got Mayes, right? But don't bet on it, right? So we got Mayes over Nasamito. In the next fight, in the next one, we couldn't really come to a decision on, right? We got Angela Hill versus Denise Gomez. In this fight with Angela Hill and Denise Gomez, right? This fight with Angela Hill and Denise Gomez, right? I put this fight at the back, right? Because I wasn't sure who was going to win this fight because I think this fight is going to be a banger. This is a bit of a trap fight for Denise Gomez. Son T, what you mean? Denise Gomez is a prospect up on the rise, strong fighter. You know what I mean? Friendly fight style. They're putting her in the ring against Angela Hill. Angela Hill is about what 15 and 13, 15 and 14, something like that. So she has a lot of fights. She has just as many losses as wins. But also Angela Hill is one of those crafty veterans. It's like she's oddly good. You look at her record, weirdly, like good. Like 15 and 13, you get confused, but she has a lot of decisions on there, a lot of split decisions, right? And she's like the ultimate prospect tester, right? If you got a prospect who you think may or may be the real deal, you put it in there with Angela Hill, you're going to find out if she's the real deal or not because Angela Hill is going to test her. Angela Hill is good striking and she's good in the grapple, right? So she's a good test for Gomez. This is a tough matchup for Gomez. I know a lot of people going to look at those records and say, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to take her off the WAP. And I think a lot of people going to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Gomez has a lot of power, but Gomez isn't as strong in the grapple. Hill is strong in the grapple. She is an all-around mixed martial artist, which is how she's able to stay around so long. Now, she's up there in age. She's about 38 years old, 39. Could very well be 40. You know what I mean? But she is extremely up there in age. And Gomez is one of those UFC up-and-coming prospects, right, who's making waves and who I feel like will one day, compete for championships in their division. Though I think Gomez, but this fight with Angela Hill is going to test her because Angela Hill is a superb grappler. She's a superb grappler. She's good in the clinch, right? Harassing is good, not overly physically imposing, right? So Gomez is strong, so that's going to help her. But I do edge Angela Hill, with the grappling and on the ground in this fight. And I think that's that's a big thing to keep an eye on. Now, in this fight, I'm going to take Gomez for the win, right? But I'm taking it with an asterisk because I do feel like this fight is going to be a tough fight for her. That fight is going to prove a lot about Gomez. That fight is going to prove is Gomez ready, right? Or does she need a little more time in her young UFC mixed martial arts career? But I do think that fight is going to be a doozy. And I'm leaning Gomez in this fight, right? Gomez is a slight favorite, minus 130. I'm leaning Gomez in this fight, but it's going to be a banger. I'm leaning Gomez in this fight, but it is going to be a banger. So we got Gomez, money line over Angela Hill. You could bet it right. You could bet it right, but make sure that you understand that you're going to be in for a great fight, right? You're going to be in for a great fight. So we got Gomez, money line over Hill. And we're going to keep it moving right along to this last fight, right? Another fight that I want to highlight, we got Victor Hugo versus Daniel Marcos. Now I'm a hedge this by saying Daniel Marcos is a lot more experienced than Victor Hugo, right? I do think that he is the better all-around fighter, right? As far as like striking and grappling combined, I do think Daniel Marcos is the better all-around fighter. Victor Hugo is one of those contender series guys, right? So he's a little raw. But Victor Hugo, I do think is a live dog in this fight because of his odd style striking and his power on the feet. Not the most technical striker, right? But he does have power and athleticism in what he does. Daniel Marcos is a good all-around fighter, good on the feet, good in the grapple, good on the ground, right? So I do think he's the more complete fighter. So he has the advantages in that. But this fight gets dangerous because Victor Hugo has that fight-changing kind of power. I think Daniel Marcos is going to have his head on the swivel. He's going to have his A game on because if he doesn't, then Victor Hugo very well could put him out, put him to bed, and get this upset victory, right? Now, again, Marcos is the more tactical fighter, but Victor Hugo is a live dog because of that power. You know what I mean? So you could bet this fight, but bet it with caution. Be aware. You know what I mean? I'm going to take Marcos on my parlay, but I'll be taking this Victor Hugo flyer along with my Derrick Lewis flyer, right? So in this fight, I got Daniel Marcos over Victor Hugo, basically based off experience and overall ability. But I do think that fight right there is going to be a doozy. Now, I ain't gonna waste too much more of y'all time because we gotta come back and I gotta predict this baseball game for y'all, right? But I just dropped all my picks in the chat. I'm finna give y'all the rundown, right? The rundown at 34 minutes. We got Mark DeCasey, we got Eduardo Mora, we got Denise Gomez, we got Victor Petrino, we got Reinhard Ferradino, we got Daniel Marcos, we got Ishmael Bofin, we got Armin Petrosian, we got Magomedov in the upset over Barhal, we got Dante Mays over Nesimito. Don't bet on that fight. We got Gabriel Bonfim over Nicholas Darby, and we got Jonathan Almeida over Derrick Lewis. All right, so those are all the picks. Y'all get ready for this Saturday. Should be a great card. Hold y'all up too long. I'm gonna end this thing at 35. Make sure y'all catch me on the backside, man. Skin the Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But just the present. That's how you rock it. And I'm out.